Welcome to Just Asia, AHRC TV's weekly human rights program. These are the headlines. Court sentences a former member of the Satun administrative organization to over 22 years imprisonment. Indigenous leader killed for anti-mining advocacy. The victims of the May 1998 tragedy and their families still await justice. 4 women abducted by police for ransom. Urgent appeals from Thailand, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka. Welcome to AHRC TV's Just Asia. I'm April. This week, Just Asia begins in Thailand, where the Provincial Court of Songkhla read the verdict of Appeals Court Region 9 regarding the case of Mr. Anat Hayeemasae, former member of the Satun Provincial Administration Organization. He had appealed the order of the Court of First Instance, which had sentenced him to 20 years and 6 months imprisonment for an offence against the Anti-Human Trafficking Act B.E.2551. The Penal Code's provisions concerning an offence against life and liberty, and the Immigration Act. He had been ordered to provide indemnity to the Rohingya people who have become victims of trafficking in persons. The Appeals Court Region 9 decided that the injured parties in this case, who are co-plaintiffs, and that the Rohingya had been lured from Myanmar and Bangladesh, and that such an offence is akin to the act of transnational organized crime involving a large number of injured parties. From the behavior, it could not be construed otherwise but as an act of an organized movement and a conspiracy between more than 2 persons. Based on the evidence from witnesses, including reports from the inquiry officials, an arrangement had been made to bring the Rohingya and hold them in captivity in premises belonging to Khoton, and the offence had been collectively committed by several individuals, including local politicians, hitmen, and local villages. Also, according to the investigation report, prior to the crime, those whom the perpetrators communicated with included those who had been paid by the accused several times. It clearly indicated that the accused had known and must have been involved with the commission of the offence in this case. In addition, the Appeals Court Region 9 granted the request of Rohingya victims to become co-plaintiffs in the trafficking in person charges. In the Philippines, 48-year-old Jimmy Saypan, a member of the Mandaya tribe, Secretary General of the Compostela Farmers Association, and a resident of Barangay Ngan, Compostela, was shot on 10th October 2016 by an unidentified motorcyclist. He was on his way home on his motorcycle. When he reached his barangay in New Visayas, Montevista town, the unidentified man riding a motorcycle chased him down and shot him. Saypan was shot 3 times but still attempted to go after his assailant. After this proved futile, he drove back home. It was only when he was already near his home that he collapsed, but not before he was able to call to his family and a neighbor for help. Saypan was initially brought to Montevista District Hospital, but later transferred to Tagum Regional Hospital. He was operated on, but the victim stated to gradually weaken until he was declared dead on 11th October 2016 at 2:20 p.m. Saypan was a known vocal anti-mining advocate who exposed and rallied support for the discontinuation of mining explorations by Agusan Petroleum and Minerals Corporation since 2012. AGPET is a subsidiary of Eduardo Dandane Cojuago, Junior San Miguel Corporation. Members of Compostela Farmers Association, an affiliate organization of Kilusan Magbubukid in Philippines, as well as the local community of Barangay Ngan, believe that the killing of Saypan was orchestrated by both the 66th Infantry Battalion Philippines Army and the Agusan Petroleum and Minerals Corporation to threaten the community to not resist and oppose their actions. Next, in Indonesia, Even after 18 years of political reform, victims and their families are still seeking justice and remedies for the tragedies that took place from 13 to 15 May 1998. Despite current President Joko Widodo's promise to take up the case, the investigation report remains with the Attorney General. According to the reports of the National Commission on Human Rights, the May tragedy occurred due to state negligence and lack of intervention to stop the reuters who attacked, raped, and burned down houses of the victims, in particular Indonesian Chinese descent. The families of victims have tried to urge the government to prosecute the perpetrators and find out what happened to their beloved children, and were involved in various formal and informal dialogues with the Attorney General, National Commission on Human Rights, President Committee, and even the former President, Susilo Bambang Yudhoyono, but the case remains stagnant. No clear reasons have been given as to why the Attorney General refused to investigate and prosecute the case. Moving to Pakistan, the police have been accused of holding people for ransom, committing robberies, the adoption of women and custodial rape. In the recent event, Jacobabad police abducted 4 women and kept them for 11 days in an undisclosed location. The women were later traced to RD-44 police station by Satun tribesmen and were released after paying a huge amount in cash and handing over 800 kilograms of rice, 1 fish farm, and other crops. The abducted women, who belong to the poorest tribe among the Satun, are under severe pressure and tension and are not saying anything about their ordeal in police custody. The police have implicated men from the Satun tribe in different cases, but no case had yet been registered against the fighting tribes. On October 15, armed men from 2 tribes of Sindh province, the Kabrani and Tahim tribes, arch rivals that have been feuding for generations, took their positions against each other in trenches. In the fight that ensued, 4 people were killed and 1 was injured. The clash started early in the morning, with one group opening fire on the other. According to the police report, the deceased included 1 from the Kabrani tribe and 3 from the Tahim tribe. The person abducted for ransom were picked by the police to pressurize fellow tribesmen to sell off the property to the Tahim tribe, a powerful and influential group. Tensions prevail in the area and heavy police reinforcement has been called in from other districts to control the situation. In the latest developments, the police have begun using methods of coercion and intimidation by implicating Satun members in cases of theft and for keeping small weapons like knives, and have been harassing Satun tribesmen by tracing their phone calls and threatening them with dire consequences if they dare to report police delinquency to the media or any rights organization. Finally, Urgent Appeals Weekly features 3 cases, one each from Thailand, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka. In Thailand, judicial harassment against human rights lawyer Ms. Sirikant Charansiri has continued despite it being 7 months since she reported herself to the prosecutor's office in Bangkok for a hearing on the prosecution order for the alleged offences of concealing evidence and refusing to comply with an order of competent officers. Under Sections 142 and 368 of the Criminal Code, she has denied all charges against her. In Pakistan, a professor, a lawyer, and 2 activists from a political party have been arrested and disappeared by a law enforcement agency. The MQN Attaf political party has been the target of a military crackdown ever since its leader Attaf Hussain raised a slogan against Pakistan. In Sri Lanka, Mr. Kadirashant Ravishankar was severely tortured by the headquarters inspector of police of the Hatton headquarters police station on 23 September 2016. He was treated at the Decoya-based hospital, though he repeatedly made complaints to senior police officers and requested prompt, independent and impartial investigations into his rights violations. He was ignored. That is all for this episode of Just Asia. For more on this and other issues, please visit www.humanrights.asia or www.allc.asia/justasia. Thank you for watching and see you next week.